Alright guys, welcome back to Valorant News. After all the drama with Sentinels over the last few days, with it now saying that pANcada is out of the starting lineup and Zellsis is in, FNS has given his thoughts recently on how he expects this Sentinels team to perform going into the new season. Based on how they've done in show matches, he's expecting Sentinels to dominate in the Americas region, if not the entire world. Is he over-gassing how good Sentinels are going to be, or is this team theoretically going to be one of the top contenders to actually start winning championships again? Very much interested to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Firstly, I know there was some talk today about League of Legends. Of course, League of Legends World's going on. All that fun stuff. It's going to be mega. And the production they did for this and everything was pretty mega as well, as it usually is with Riot Games on the League of Legends side. Pretty sure they also confirmed that next year's World is going to be in London. Do wonder what that's going to mean for Valorant, because there has been some talk recently as to how they might potentially interact the two of them. Are they going to do similar events in similar locations at similar times? Okay, they don't necessarily want to overlap the seasons in the events so much, but it's definitely a possibility, and there hasn't really been a big Valorant event in London, for example, yet, but they're going to do it in League of Legends, I believe, next year. Now, speaking of Worlds, I do wonder what your guys' perspective is on Champions, because League of Legends Worlds is considered the big event of the season, right? And that's the one that everybody wants to win. Now, Commends gives an interesting take, a take that I don't necessarily agree with, but I don't really understand where he's coming from, because Masters, let's say Masters Tokyo, there was one Masters Tokyo this season, there was one Masters event, and all the teams that were there at Masters were basically there at Champions, and it was basically the same teams. So why does it matter more? The format's basically the same. You know, sure, the money was more prize money for the World Championship, but I don't really think that should matter that much. Frankly, it's about prestige. As far as I'm concerned, it's about prestige. And this is what we were saying the other day, the fact that Evil Geniuses are nominated for Esports Team of the Year, but they didn't really win anything until the World Championship. Fnatic won basically everything apart from the World Championship. So should it matter more or less? To me, the World Championship is always the biggest one. To be honest, the main reason, because it's called the World Championship, I don't think that there's too many more reasons than that. And it's the same thing in Call of Duty back in the day when we used to have the playoffs, and then 2 weeks later we'd have the World Championship. And the playoffs there were 8 teams, or whatever there were, and the same 8 teams would be the best teams at the World Championship 2 weeks later. But at the World Championship, there were more teams, there was more competition, and there was more money on the line, and it was considered to be a higher prestige event that everybody wanted to win. I think mainly, to me, it's because it's the culmination of the entire season. Everything of the year comes down to that moment. That's when the pressure is on. That's when the pressure is on to deliver and to perform. But I definitely think Riot might need to think about how to, you know, change these two perceptions, because I know that some people will look at it and say, well, you know, Champions and Masters, basically the same thing, same teams there, same format, and, you know, why does it matter that you've won one more than the other one? And I kind of get that. And to me, I don't think it comes down to that much more than one of them is at the end of the season, one of them is called the World Championship and is considered and, you know, deemed to be the big event, and therefore that's the one that everybody really wants to win. And the World Champions or the Champions winners, that's the team that you're going to remember, let's say in, you know, 15, 20 years time of Valorant or whatever. You're going to think back at previous seasons and think, okay, yeah, well, they won the World Championship that year, they won it that year, they won it that year. People aren't necessarily going to remember Masters winners in the same way. But if there were more Masters, that would be more so the case. So something to think about. A couple of glitches that need to get resolved as well. Some noticed this bug actually when if you're near the edge of a smoke and it disappears, you still get some weird like kind of glitches here. So this is his point of view when he's inside this Omen smoke and it's just about to fade. And then when it does fade, he gets a couple of kills, but his screen kind of thinks that he's still in the Omen smoke, if you know what I'm saying. So this starts to fade, and just as it fades, because he's on the edge of it, he still, like, is looking through the smoke here. He gets the first kill and also gets the second kill to close out the rounds. But still, a bit of a strange bug that some of you guys might have been experiencing in the moment where, yeah, he just, unfortunately for some, he couldn't see anything. Valo 2 Asia as well did their annual esports awards they kind of do for the Asian region. They came down to the top 3 players that were this season going to be Jing, Forsaken, well, this is Forsaken, and Something. Now, well, these 3 guys were top 3. There was a lot of debate on what order they should be in, who should be number 1, like of course all these, you know, Paper X guys that did so well this season. Something over the, you know, was super good, but over the course of the entire year you probably got to give it to, you know, either Forsaken or Jing. In the end, indeed, it was something that came at 3rd place in this competition. 2nd place, though, went to Forsaken. I know there was quite a lot of people saying that, well, maybe he should have been 1st. Did they? I think Jing might have won this last year as well. So, you know, people were saying, oh, maybe they just gave it to him because he's having to step away, you know. Okay, sure. Phenomenal race player, great player for Paper X, and, you know, did so many phenomenal things this season. And it's very sad for the team and the setup that he's having to step away, of course, from military service. And hopefully in due course, he will be back. But maybe if that wasn't the case and he wasn't kind of semi-retired or retired for the time being, maybe Forsaken would have won. But at the end of the day, it doesn't massively matter. Congratulations to both gentlemen, of course, for their great performances over the course of this season. Now, let's talk about the Sentinel stuff again, because we saw just yesterday that, yeah, James of F saying that as far as he's concerned, they're still playing without pANcada, and Zellsis is now officially in. Lots of controversy on this. A lot of fans are saying that this is a ridiculous decision. FNS made it clear his thoughts the other day that they should bring pANcada back. But it's seemingly quite clear, at least from the coaching perspective, that's their plan. Why they think this is the best idea, we don't necessarily know. I wouldn't be surprised if in coming days, Kaplan sits down in front of the fans and says, what up, Sentinel, or whatever he used to say, and, you know, to give them a nice little update for the fans on exactly what's going on, what the decision has been here, because, let's be honest, they might turn up to the Africa TV League in Seoul, get bodied by a team like Paper X or whatever, and think, you know what, actually, pANcada, we need to bring him back in. So it's questionable from the Sentinel side, and, well, it's going to have to require a pretty good explanation. But if they're good, then that's all the explanation you need. If they win every tournament, then that's all that is required. Just to note that still on VLR, it is listed as Zellsis being the sub, although, well, I'm pretty sure James of F might have done a bit of a Photoshop job here to say that this is what it actually looks like, because as far as I can tell, pANcada is not listed as the sub at the time being. But I did want to share this clip from FNS. This came out during the kind of Tarek show match they played the other day. And sure, it was a Tarek show match. They weren't a full team, but Sentinels at least started off looking particularly good in this one. And it was, well, FNS is making the point these guys are very polished at the moment and will be very difficult to stop this season.
I'm watching, Rob.
It's so hard to win.
Drop.
Wow. Yo, Sentinel's about to win next year. No cap. They are playing well.
Drink some water, reload.
Okay, Sentinels is either going to win everything next year, and if they don't, they're show match warriors.
Yeah.
They are off-season warriors if they don't win.
Yeah, I'm just on a bounce there. Grabbing the
I
orb.
knew they would go B, man.
Close.
When is holding on?
Flashing close, flashing.
Hey, Jin, come here.
And he gets away.
No. On the right.
Stun, stun, stun,
Right
stun.
side.
It's on the left.
The cage?
You're
I
at
think
the
he's
right
in the
side. No, I cleared it. Oh, he's still there. That's...
I'll kill him.
Player standing.
I know exactly where you
Holy fuck.
The eyes are down. Spike planted.
Holy shit!
This guy's just played a masterclass.
And
Yeah, dude.
No cap.
Last round before the switch.
Spend it all.
Remote, they for sure try to end A.
I swear to...
Remote.
Yeah.
Mark my
They're
words.
gonna do like a can
If
A.
Sentinels
I'll move
do
myself.
not farm this season,
Are they using util to take him in?
At my smoke.
you ready to smoke
No, it's okay. We don't
they
need
are...
to walk.
I've
think
never
it's just
seen
walk.
a group of
walk.
players
If
this
you
in
guys contact, I'm
form
breaking my ult.
Just bait me. I'm gonna walk on.
before.
So what do you guys think about what FNS there has to say? Obviously, he's a little bit tongue-in-cheek because when he says this is the best version of, you know, the best form I've ever seen a team in basically ever, I think it's tough to justify that compared to some of the other great teams and performances that we have seen over the last several years in Valorant in actual real sets of tournaments as opposed to just pre-season show matches. And look, if they start to lose, will they be show match merchants? Sure, but they're not playing the best teams at the moment. However, on paper, looking at the competition in the Americas, we don't know what NRG are going to be doing, but we assume they're going to be pretty good on the rumors at the moment. Lev are going to be good. Loud are always going to be good. You know, even Furia might have taken some steps forward. EG did win the World Championship, but it's tough to imagine they're going to be as good next season. Sen should be right up there. Can they be one of the top two teams in the Americas? Definitely yes. I think they probably should be, to be honest, given the strength of their team. And they should be this season, giving themselves multiple chances to win internationally. And I think that's what what FNS expects, frankly, from this roster going forwards. They said back in 2020, going into 2023, the comment from Rob Moore was, in 2021, we won a lot, as they did. They won Reykjavik, and they were really good for that period. 2022, they became the absolute clout kings of the universe, right? The signings they made, Tarek coming in, Shroud coming in at the end of the season, all the drama with Shazam, but individually, or at least as a team, they faltered. The plan for 2023 was combine both of them, right? Maintain their status as the clout kings of Valorant, but also start to win things. That didn't happen. There were various reasons as to exactly why. This is now their chance. Did they expect Zellsis to be part of that program? Possibly not, but for whatever reason, the coaching staff seem to believe that he is the superior option for the moment. So will FNS be proved right by this, or is he just trying to jinx them, setting themselves up for failure in some respects, and going to enjoy the content while that all develops as it quite possibly could? We did see yesterday some of the compositions for, I think it was when we look at Sunset, so just interesting to see what's happening right now on Haven, because Haven's been around for longer, so there's kind of, well, more development in terms of what the meta is and has been. Now, as we can see here back in 2022, that's when Chamber was doing pretty well on this particular map, but Chamber wasn't around for all that long, and the meta has changed. It's kind of funny, really, how the meta went from being kind of similar to what it is today to, again, kind of being where we are presently, because, you know, of course, we had Sage back then with Skye and Astra and Killjoy, and still today you see that the Sova that was often used in 2021 is still kind of back, and it's a very similar setup, really, to what we have today. But instead of Skye, Breach is often getting used. 2022 was pretty wild, really, where we started to have Fade and Raze, and obviously the Chamber meta that was used at the time, which made a lot of sense given how strong the character was. But yeah, things have changed quite significantly, but to such an extent that they haven't really changed that much at all over the last couple of years. So very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.